questions that you left me. It's taken me four videos to get to all of them, and I was able to make my longest video ever last night, which was volume 3, so that made me happy. I wasn't sure that my computer could process it, but it obviously got it finished okay. So it's a little bit earlier, so the dogs are not asleep yet. So they may be walking around, but I remembered to close the dog door so I won't have to make all the cuts in this video like I made in last night's video. So let me go ahead and get right into these questions here. First is from Chloe. She asks, what kind of salad would you be? And I think that's a joke question, but maybe not. But I would say a Caesar salad because I feel like an old soul. And I think of Julius Caesar as, obviously being an historical figure, so that would be my answer, though I don't really know the relevance of the question. So, next is from Nat Nonsense ASMR. Nat Nonsense ASMR asks, do you have any siblings? Yes, I do. I think I had to answer this one last night as well. Some of the questions got doubled up. I have one brother. I used to have 2, but I lost a brother when I was 28. And I have one brother that's 3 years younger than me. And I have one sister that's older than me and one sister that's younger than me. So it goes in order. My oldest sister, then I am the oldest male, then my younger brother, then my younger sister. So that's where I'm at, because she said, if so, are you the oldest, middle, or youngest? So that answers that. Okay, next is from Brandy Stanton. She is from Southern California. Lucky her. She says, if you were on death row, what would be your last meal? And I think I would eat pizza. I got asked that one a couple times, but I think part of it is because I don't, because I'm on really kind of like a high protein diet, and so I'm kind of strict right now on what I eat. Like right now, I'm craving pizza like every day. I want it, and so I'm gonna have it this weekend. But I think that's why pizza's on my brain. But I like chili. I like tacos. I like beef roasts and pot roasts, like pork roasts. I like all kinds of food. I mean, I like mashed potatoes, cauliflower, broccoli, but in the end, right now, if I have to pick one meal, I'm definitely picking pizza. I'm craving it so bad. Next question she asks is, when you indulge in any sorts of pleasure, what do you treat yourself to? And in parentheses, she put food, going out, vacation. Yeah, primarily, like, I like movies, and so I don't watch a lot of like TV because I try to stay disciplined and try to be really productive, but I really enjoy a good movie that is like kind of suspenseful or like intriguing, like a mystery, something I can't figure out that really takes me somewhere else. I also like documentaries. So I consider those treats. Food, because I restrict my diet most of the time. I do splurge. Like if I do go out to eat, I like go crazy. I get all kinds of different variety of stuff. So I'll order several things and may not be able to eat it all, but I want to have a little bit of everything. Like, for example, if I were to get like fast food, I would get French fries and onion rings both because I want both. I want to taste a little bit of both. So if I go out, because I don't do it that much, I do allow myself to splurge. Vacations, I really just don't. I think because I have so many animals that it's hard to leave, and I really don't want to leave them, and I don't want to put them in the care of somebody else because I know nobody's going to love them like I do. Jefferson and Martin Luther King, because I would love to see those guys have a conversation. And I would love to hear them talk to our country and tell them to get their act back together, because we're really taking the gift that we were given. I feel like we're taking it for granted today. And I feel like if people could hear from a founder and someone who was so profound in helping justice prevail in America, like Martin Luther King, I think those two guys together would have something really impactful to say today if they could see the way this country has turned out and where it is today. I think it would make a big difference in how people act and think. And I don't know what else can help it, but it would take something amazing like that. So there you go, Brandy Stanton. There's your answers. Egg Seema has two questions. One, what is the scariest thing you have experienced in your life? When I was, I would have been probably 19 or 20. I was working for that carpet cleaning company that I told you about, and I had just got paid. It was like a Friday I got paid, and that was like that Saturday morning I had cashed my check the previous Friday, and I hadn't spent any of it. So I had, like, I don't know, back then it might have been like $400 that I had in cash in my room. And when I woke up Saturday morning, one of my friends was at my house, and he asked if I could give him a ride somewhere. He got like dropped off at my house, and so I told him, yeah, sure, no problem. And so we just were hanging out a little bit, and I lived close to a railroad track, and so we're just kind of walking back there by the railroad track, and there was a train coming, and we were putting like rocks on the train track and stuff, and just kind of talking. And when, like, right when the train came up, like, he came up to me and was like, he nearly like pushed me in front of, if he slipped on the rocks, but if he hadn't slipped on the rocks, he would have pushed me in front of the train. And I looked at him in shock, like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, you almost killed me. And he just kind of laughed it off. Well, once I got back home and I got in my car and I like took him where he wanted to go, and I got back home, I realized he had stolen my money. And I think I escaped death that day. I think he was trying to kill me. And I've never seen or heard from him again, ever in my whole life. I've even tried to look for him, and I can't find him. So it's just kind of weird. I think back to that event sometimes, and it really is scary. But I also had my own motorcycle accident, and I was on like a highway, and like this car shoved me into like this construction barricade, and I hit it, and it had like a flashing light on the top of this barricade, and that flashing light came up and it smashed me in the shoulder. And it broke my collarbone, but it also shoved me off the side of the road, and I know I passed out because my motorcycle laid on top of me, and it burned my leg really bad. And so, like, it was at nighttime, and so, like, I remember like waking up and like getting out from underneath the motorcycle, and I like walked up the hill because I had crashed down an embankment, and I walked up the hill, and like that speed limit on that highway was like 65 miles an hour, and just semis and cars are just flying by, and I'm like walking down the highway, and it's like this is a regular highway, this is not anywhere that you walk. And I was just in so much pain, and I thought I was gonna die right there. And eventually, I think somebody must have called the police, and a state trooper came by, and he was like, "What are you doing walking?" And I'm like, "I crashed." He didn't believe me that I had a motorcycle somewhere, but that was frightening. That was scary. But I do have firearms, and I do think that if we didn't have guns here, if there were not guns here, I think that things would eventually become tyrannical. And I think if you look throughout all of history, until America came, men and women were ruled over by tyrants. And I think that the fact that we are able to have guns keeps us safe. And I also think it stops other countries from invading us, because there are more citizens with guns in America than any other army in the world. And in fact, during World War II, Japan, the leader of Japan was asked, "Why don't you invade the mainland of America?" And he said, it's a famous quote, he said, "Because behind every blade of grass is an American with a gun." So I do think it protects us. Now, I hate how proliferated they have become, and how all the school shootings and the senseless violence that's committed with guns. I hate. So we have issues, but I think we have a mental health crisis. I think we have a morality crisis. I think we've lost our way as a country, and it's sad. So I don't know. I hope that there's a day that we just don't need them. I think that there will come a day that mankind will somehow, some way sort all of our problems out. If you think about things like hunger and plumbing and electricity, all the things we've developed to solve problems, like to make sure people don't starve to death, we're doing a good job. If you compare today to 100 years ago, we're doing a great job on all those fronts. So I do believe, I know it's taken a long time and a lot of people are impatient, but I do think eventually we're going to solve a lot of our problems. So, okay, Truvic asks, what advice would you give to someone who is nearing 30 years of age, has no money, still lives with their parents, is heartbroken from the end of a previous relationship that lasted almost 5 years, and currently is in the process of losing weight, all while giving weed a long break after smoking regularly for about 10 years? Wow, that's a big question. Well, I would start with the broken heart, because I know how bad those feel. In fact, of all the things that have ever happened to me, of the most hurt, even, I have to confess this, even worse than losing my brother, because at least with my brother dying, I got the benefit of feeling like he was in a better place, and feeling that he avoided a lot of the struggles and suffering that I knew I had to go through and was going through at the time, because I was 28 when he died. So I tried to find the beauty in him not having to endure this life. So I was able to find some positivity, but I got my heart broken pretty bad. I was so in love, and I was just so dependent on this woman. I was insecure. I was young and insecure and not confident in myself, and wow, it just devastated me. I mean, it was the closest I ever came to killing myself, because it just destroyed my heart. I mean, I could barely eat, I could barely sleep. She was all I could think about. But I heard something one day, and it was like a light bulb. It was like a light switch in my head, and it was this, and this was from Sylvester Stallone. He said, "The greatest revenge is massive success." So I don't know if this girl broke up with you know that's not like truly you want to focus on yourself. You want your reasons for improving to be your own personal reasons, but anger and heartbreak can be a good motivator. And so you gotta use whatever you can use to motivate yourself to become more powerful. And this doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. I would say the same thing to a woman. The greatest revenge is massive success. She should become the woman that he wishes he'd never got rid of. So that's what I would do. I would really begin focusing on yourself. So you said you're trying to lose weight, so that's great. And then as far as money, you gotta buckle down. You gotta find ways to cut your spending. You've gotta find ways to produce more. So, and it's gonna be hard to do when you're in that frame of mind of a heartbreak because it's so painful. Man, I don't envy that. I feel bad, really bad for you. But I know it can be done because I am proof. Today, that girl, I know she's married. She lives in Texas now. She's got like 3 or 4 kids. And I really believe in my heart that if she could go back, she would pick me over the guy that she's with. Now, I don't want her. And I don't speak with her. But I would every now and then after that just kind of look because I knew I had improved my life so well. And over the years, and this has been 20 some years, so it's a long gone, but today it's not even, I don't even feel it. I don't even have anything left from that. So that's where that is going. The heartbreak will go away. It will, but it goes away by working on yourself. So you've got to every day do something to improve. Working out. I would work out every single day. There would not be a day goes by that I didn't work out. I would start focusing on my diet, and I would start being methodical about my career and bringing in income and getting out of my parents' house. Likely, if you're 30 and you still live with your parents, it may be one of the reasons that she left. You may start self-analyzing and go, wow, maybe I wasn't quite the man I could have been. If you're sitting around playing video games all the time, I don't know what you're doing, but those are the things that you change. Because now, if you were happy living at your parents' house and they wanted you living there, then by all means, I don't judge you. But if you really want to be self-sustaining and you want to be financially independent, it means working and producing a lot, because it takes a lot to make it. And I mean, you have to work hard to get ahead. And if you're in a little bit of a hole, you just got to start crawling your way out, and definitely don't dig any further. So it can be done. But step 1, I would work on my mind frame. I would say, okay, she broke my heart, but I'm going to show her. I'm going to show her that she shouldn't have given up on me. And if you want her back, this could be the way to get her back. Possibly you could get her back if you want her back. I mean, I don't know those types of details because those weren't given. But even that's possible because you can transform quickly. I mean, quickly. So, again, you might think when you see yourself in the mirror every day, you don't really notice it. But if she don't see you for a month, and she's going to notice a big change in you if you start working out every day and you start doing the right things financially and mentally. Feed good stuff into your mind, reading books and things like that will detract you from thinking about her. If you want her back, then you just got to say, I'm getting her back, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to show her I'm going to be a good man. I'm going to get the heck out of my parents' house. And you got to do that. And again, this might be a long journey, but at 5 years, I guarantee you, she's thinking about you too. So it's not like she can just completely forget about you, even if she has a new person. It doesn't matter. So, and on the weed thing, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't even tell you have to stop smoking weed. I believe that when you're in the midst of a I think we need them in life. I think we gotta use our crutches. So I don't think weed does really that bad. I don't think it's that bad for you. I smoked weed almost every day when I was young, and I don't think it hurt me. In fact, I was really productive, and I feel like it helped numb the pain of life. And so I believe it helped me when I was in my struggle. But financially, if you're doing it a lot, like I would never do it like during the day and stuff. I might just like come home and like do a little bit, like 1 or 2 puffs just to relax and take the edge off, and that was it. I would never abuse it, and I never spent a lot of money on it because it's really not that expensive. So those are the things I would do. Maybe definitely cut back on it, but I don't know maybe it's because you smoked weed. Maybe that's another thing she didn't like about you, but if that's what you like, then maybe you guys weren't meant to be. So those are the things you just gotta really kind of sort out. If you know that you can't smoke weed and get her back, and you really want her back, you want her back more than you want to smoke weed, then that's it. But I really feel like people shouldn't have to change to be with somebody else. You know, if she don't love you for who you are, then maybe it was never meant to be. But I'm kind of giving you a lot of scenarios because I don't know enough about this story to really give you hard, centralized advice. So, but that's the basics of it. That's kind of how I feel about what I would do if I woke up tomorrow and I was Truvik. I would begin a militant workout regimen. I would focus intently on my job, and if that wasn't enough, I would immediately get a second job. And if I just hated my first job, I would get a different one. I mean, I would be making crazy changes to where it's like, what the hell's going on with this guy? And then just mentally, I would be feeding my mind positivity, reading good books, and watching good documentaries, and watching like motivational videos. There's so much, we have so much access now with the internet to be able to get whatever we need. And so those are the things I would do, and really start thinking about, what do I want to do? How can I transform myself into a beast? That's what I would be doing. Okay, question from Red Timber Defense. This is the final question of all the questions. Is, have you ever done psychedelic drugs? So I just talked about marijuana, but the only other like psychedelic drug that I've done is psilocybin mushrooms. So and in fact, it was not too long ago that I finally tried it, because I was watching a video from Jordan Peterson, and he was talking about treating people, how some clinicians are treating people with psilocybin mushrooms, which I found just amazing. Like, I think it was the Cleveland Clinic or the Mayo Clinic, one of the two. They were running trials where they were treating people, and so I always just found it like interesting. And like, something is natural, I don't feel afraid of it. Like, marijuana is just a plant, and you just pick it. You don't have to chemically synthesize it or anything like cocaine or heroin, which is all like synthesized, and you have to like process it. You can't just like, it's not like an apple, you just pick it and eat it. Well, that's what marijuana is. You just pick it and either smoke it, you can eat it, you can do whatever. And mushrooms are the same thing. You just pick it up and eat it. There's just, it's all natural. So those are the types of things that I feel comfortable doing, and I had a really good experience. It was really fun, and I felt such a connection to the earth, and things looked so different. It lasted about 6 or 7 hours, and it was just me. I did it by myself, and I just had a really, really good connection with the planet. It was like everything was earth related. It was so strange, but I enjoyed it. Now, I'm definitely not going to make a habit of it, and I don't know. I might do it again if I got the opportunity, but DMT, I find that kind of curious. And then the one thing that's another natural thing that I would do would be ayahuasca. So I don't think I would ever do anything like that. So anyway, that's all the questions. Let me see how much time is left on my 27 minutes. So yeah, that worked out pretty good. So I've got several hours invested in all 4 videos, so I'm just so glad I was able to get to everybody's questions, and I'm so grateful to all of your questions for giving me good content. This helped me to be able to just know what I was going to do and actually give back to the people. Just about everybody that commented has been with me a long time, and you guys have really helped build my channel to the point that it is now. I'm still a really small channel, and I'm trying hard, but if you are listening to this and you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe if you haven't already, and then if you could hit the like button too, because it does help with YouTube's algorithm, because if I get more likes, they're more likely to send it out, to recommend it to other